On today's episode of Locked on Avalanche, so many people had this series going 7 games, and you got what you wished for, Mr. Sullivan. The Avs force that game 7. They score 7. What a wild and wacky game this one was. A lot to talk about. New episode of Locked on Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Locked on Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network. Your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. If you want to get in on the conversation, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. Chat with Kyle and I one-on-one. We get your opinion, everything Avalanche related. Share it on this very podcast, which our subtext people are flying in the comment section as we speak. We'll get to them a little bit later. But wow, man, like I don't even know where to begin with this game, because it was kind of it was nice. I don't want to say comfy 2-0 lead after one, but it was a nice 2-0 lead, and you're just feeling like this is what you needed to do. You had to get a lead. Hey, you got a 2-goal lead now you can play with that. And then the second period just blew all that up, and the Avs find themselves down. And then a third period where they score 4, they get a couple empty netters. And this was just unlike any other game in this series so far. Unlike any game. It was just back and forth. It was wide open ice. It just, guys were doing whatever they wanted to do. You had mistakes. You had great plays. This was a hodgepodge of a game. Whatever you can conjure up, throw it into the bucket, and that was game 6.
Yeah, and honestly, watching this game, like I was kind of down after that game 5. Like I was kind of down on the Avs performance. And this, honestly, they checked all the boxes. Like they came out with that energy. And that second period, you allowed the Dallas Stars to score 4 goals in a single period. And you respond with 4 goals of your own in the third. Like we talked about that many, many times leading up to this game. What do the Avs do when they get punched? What is their counterpunch? And you got to see that all the way through. It was not the prettiest game. It was not the most flawless execution. This wasn't a game 4. This wasn't this is textbook beautiful Avalanche hockey. No, this wasn't even beautiful textbook Dallas Stars hockey in that second period. Like this was a fight, and puck luck came into play, both sides, and momentum, and players that have been quiet as of late showing up in big ways. Like this was a gritty game 6, and it felt like things were on the line, and it should. And that's what I've been asking from the Avalanche. Like, take this seriously, and they did. Check.
Yeah, this was a track meet. This was just a back and forth track meet, and that favors Colorado.
Yep.
It just does. Like Dallas doesn't want to play that style of game. I don't even know if the Avalanche want to play the way that this thing was. Maybe they do, but obviously, that lends to kind of defensive lapses sometimes, and you got that from the Avs, and especially in that second period. You had Dallas players getting behind Avalanche players for goals. Not Mackenzie's Blackwood's finest hour, but you mentioned the puck luck, and we got to talk about that because it wasn't just on one goal. It was on 3 of them for the Avs. And, I say it all the time. You're not going to excuse them. Their goals, they count. But, man, if that goal that is credited to Nathan MacKinnon is what gets them to eventually maybe win this series and say 7 games, and you look back and say that was, because that was the goal that just turned the tide.
Yeah.
It really was. You have moments, and I don't know if it affected Dallas so much where they just couldn't recover from that. I don't know, because they were, at that stage in the game, I would hope that if you're a Dallas player, it doesn't, because this game is so wacky. Okay, that thing went in. Sure. That's just how this game is going. Let's get back to it. But it was just, for whatever reason, man, if that is going to be like the goal that you put up on the wall of like, this is what kept you in this series, and this is what turned this around, that's going to be a wild goal to look back on, depending on how far the Avalanche go. That's for a down the road conversation. But for this game, it did turn the tide for the Avs.
And this is why I will never complain about calls or fluky goals ever, whenever they occur for the Avs, because I will never explain them away when they happen for the Avalanche. When calls go the Avalanche way or puck luck goes the Avalanche way, it balances out. We
Comes
say
back
this all
around.
the time. It always comes back around. And this is why. And you know what? I chalk it up to hustle. You were right place, right time. We talk about it all the time when everybody, you have those games that you lose by a goal, and everybody says, well, if you had this, and I always say, don't put yourself in that situation. That was the big standout thing of game 6 for me, was the Avalanche were in the right position all the way through. And one of the underlying storylines that just isn't touched on because it's not the hot, sexy story anymore, but we talk about Mikko Rantanen all the time, a former Av. We talk about Matt Duchene, former Av, but not enough is given to Val Nichushkin, game 6 against his former team as well.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we're at game 6 with Val Nichushkin. Everything's looking good to all those detractors and worriers. Like, this is a positive thing. Like, this is the thing I've been really looking at and watching with a microscope, and I feel good about where this team is. And honestly, without his contributions, we'd be having a different episode right now.
And you mentioned Mikko Rantanen, and you have to bring him up because that second period was as wild as that second period was. He gets 4 points alone in that period. So, okay, like, we can stop talking about when is Mikko Rantanen going to show up to the series, because he has.
Yep.
All right. He did nothing in the first 4 games of this series. And the last 2 games, he's got, he got his feet wet in games 1 through 4. Now he's a factor. So now you have to factor that into game 7. And it's not like the Avalanche were saying like, oh, he hasn't done much in games 1 through 4. They're very aware of what Mikko Rantanen can do, right? So now that he's kind of shown up, that just adds to this game 7 talk. Because if he continued to just do nothing and just had that 1 assist up until game 5, going into game 7, like the talk would be, can Mikko Rantanen lift his game in a game 7? Now it's, can he continue it?
Yeah.
Because he's played 2 very good games, and because all of that, those when is Mikko going to arrive to this series, it goes away, and it just makes the storyline for game 7 of not how much of an impact. It's probably going to have an impact on every game he plays, but again, it just adds to this whole series between the 2 teams and him going against his former team. But that second period, there was another guy on Dallas who had 4 points in that. Was it Hintz? Yeah, it was Hintz. So both of them had 4 points in the second period. Crazy second.
And see, the thing is, you never wanted to see Mikko be a factor at all, because it gives you one less thing to worry about if you're the Colorado Avalanche, something to hold on to as a bitter Avalanche fan. But Mikko Rantanen is awake, and he's thriving, and you saw it on that second goal. Just the confidence that he's starting to build now. So now the Avalanche in game 7, they got to take him out. They got to take that factor out of the game, because it was one thing to fight the Stars as the Stars. Now you have to fight the Stars with a confident Mikko Rantanen who's found his scoring touch, and he's found how to work with his teammates. So that's another factor. It's gearing up for game 7. I just rather not see it at all. But on one hand, good for Mikko finding his groove again. But why did it have to be this series?
No, I get that. And then the flip side of that is, and maybe it took him 6 games to finally get going. I thought Marty Necas had a really good game in this game. And you could tell, like, after the first period, I just liked his skating in the first period. He's always all over the place. Like, that's his game. He's kind of like Nathan MacKinnon in that he'll just go anywhere where the puck is on the ice. He doesn't just relegate himself to one side and whatever position he is. He's everywhere. But he was impactful in the first period, and I just really liked how he was skating. Just looked like he had a little bit more jump. And when you have a game where it's open and defense is optional, it benefits guys like him. So he gets a goal on a gorgeous pass from Cale Makar. He adds an assist. So while it's not the 4-point night that Mikko Rantanen had, I bring up Mikko Rantanen to say, like, he finally got going. Maybe this is the one that jumpstarts Martin Necas for a solid game 7 for himself, because he needs to be, he basically replaced Mikko Rantanen, so he needs to be that guy in the playoffs too.
Yeah, and it almost goes to that conversation we were having about puck luck. You saw him doing all the right things, it just wasn't coming to fruition, and now you're seeing it starting to pay off. And Necas, he saw that, hey, Nathan MacKinnon, he's not even in the Hart contention. Let me take over a couple in this power play and swap him out, and you get to see that confidence where they're back when Necas first joined the team, where Nate and they were swapping positions out and they were playing together. That's how it was in game 6. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And, there's another player that we'll talk about in just a minute that also showed up that hasn't in a while, that also made me very, very happy.
I'm wondering if it's the same guy I'm thinking of. So let's get our first break in here, and obviously a lot more to talk about with this game. We got our sound check coming up as well. So stay tuned for that. All right. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to Avowed. I haven't played Avowed yet. Have you played?
Oh, it's very good.
Is that a good game? Okay. I'm going to get into that one. As easily as you stream your favorite shows, it's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. So head to amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller are required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max first and second generation, and Fire TV Cube third generation. Seems like a match made in heaven to me. Just go check them out. Xbox and Fire TV. How can you go wrong? All right, so more to talk about with this 7-4 game 6 win for the Avalanche, forcing a game 7. We were just talking about Martin Necas, and that was his best game. Hopefully that can carry over into a game 7. You need everybody to have a fantastic game 7. But there were other guys that I thought had good games too. There's someone on my mind. You said there was somebody on your mind as well. I'm wondering if our minds are melding right now. So who are you thinking?
Cale Makar.
No, but you're right. Yes.
3-point night.
Yeah.
3-point night from Cale Makar. We've been asking for Cale, like, he's been ghost mode. What's going on? Where's your head at, buddy? Like, are you here with us? And he showed up when we needed him. And that, with a lot of defensive lapses that you saw, honestly, in that second period that allowed the score to get to where it is, to see Cale Makar like counterbalance that with some offense as well was extremely needed.
He had the defensive lapse on the Granlund goal, which allowed Dallas to tie the thing up. And sometimes people, when that happens, people want to come down on someone and just therefore the rest of the game was terrible for them. That was the outlier for him. Like, that was a bad play. He allowed Granlund to get a drop on him, and everything about that was bad. From his defensive positioning to just to the goal being scored, and now we have a tie game, and now all of that momentum that you had is just gone, just shattered. But what do superstars do? They don't let that bother them. Okay, I own it. That was a screw up. Let's just get back to work. And he was, he's too good to keep down for an entire series. He's too good for that. So I mean, I think the goal he got was the empty netter, but it's like a bunt. It's like a bunt.
I'm
You need a
and I don't look at the goal. I'm just looking at 3 points. Like that's and we talked about it yesterday. Like he's even saying I got to step my play up, and that's what you want. 3 points is that's a Cale Makar night. So bring it on.
The guy on my mind, not that he's been having a poor series, was just finally like I just feel like he just made his like presence felt more was Artturi Lehkonen.
Oh yeah.
He was like, especially in the first, he had multiple chances, and it just feels like he's just been snake bitten so much from like the end of the year carrying over into the postseason. But he gets one, and it's a really slick, savvy goal that he gets, kind of just scooting right around Cody Ceci, and just gets a nice redirect goal on a whiffed shot from Cale Makar. That was maybe another puck luck goal, if you want to say, but he was Johnny on the spot. And, yes, Ottinger is playing well. But he is giving up rebounds. I go back to the crossover I had with Joey before this series started and saying like that is where the Avs need to clean up. I'm not saying they did a great job of doing it. Dallas doesn't make it easy for you to collect those rebounds, but he is giving them up. And when you have guys like Lehkonen in there, Gabe Landeskog, who just continues to play fantastic. Nichushkin's another guy that's always there for rebound. Like you can mix it up in the net front. And I thought Artturi Lehkonen had a really good game too.
Yeah, and you know what? And I was about to bring it up, and you kind of touched on it. And I wanted, honestly, it needs to be talked about. Gabriel Landeskog, 2 points tonight. I severely underestimated the impact of Gabe Landeskog's return. I severely
did. Yeah.
Underestimated what he would bring. I thought it would be a good story. No, he's just a good player. He is physical. He is a motor out there. He honestly, you could delete that gap of 3 years. He's playing like he did in 2022. Like he is a force out there. And there were many times in this game I said, Gabe, I am like out loud watching the game. I said, Gabe, I am sorry I doubted you. Like he is an absolute force. And with so many incredible talents going on in this game, I wanted to take the time to say, Gabe Landeskog, I underestimated you. You are an absolute unit.
It does seem like those 3 years are just gone.
Yeah.
Like they never even happened. And it's just, his last game was the Stanley Cup, and, everything in between that happened is just evaporated, and he's been back on the ice and just picked up where he left off. I don't think anybody expected that. You were just hoping that he got out there, get some, bottom 6, 10 minutes a night and be a factor in kind of like the energy of the team. No, he's power play 1. He's second line. He's back to being what he's always been. This quickly. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like he's laying hits that I haven't seen on the team all year. Like he is extremely physical and in all the right spots. And I'm just astounded with his play.
Again, going back to how just this game was all over the place. I let you love the no quit attitude from the Avs. You had to have that.
Yeah.
But when you lose that lead, the 2-0 lead, I just feel like so much was just like sucked out of that. But what did they do? Like that's where the Marty Necas goal came in, and that was it even a minute after? Let me see. The Granlund goal was it was almost exactly a minute after the Granlund goal to tie it. So that's what you want to see. Like you're playing for your season, guys. But what happens after that? After the Necas goal, Hintz gets one, and then Rantanen gets just a dagger right before there's a couple minutes left in the second period to put them up. But the Avs are on a power play that carries over into the third period. And Kyle, I kind of said it to myself, and I think there was like just over a minute to go on the power play that carried over into the third period. And I kind of just said it. If they don't score in this power play, it might be tough. They proved me wrong with getting 4 goals in the third period. And that just goes to, like, you don't quit on this team. They don't quit on themselves. So don't quit on this team. They always have something in the tank. You get the goal from Nichushkin. But there was a moment there where I was like, man, is this going to be the last 20 minutes? And it seemed like that third period was moving along fast. Like, we got down to like 14 minutes. We got 6 minutes out of the way in about a minute. It seemed like, and I'm like, of course, this period's flying by. And then you get in the Nichushkin goal, relieves some stress, and but still, the way that the goalies were playing, like especially Blackwood, you're just like, oh, a little bit leaky. It's just the fight that they had to have because your season is on the line. And while it wasn't perfect, you got through it. You got through it, and you go to a game 7, and now anything's possible for game 7.
That's the one thing I would like to have improve for game 7 is the power play, because unlike you, I've given up on the power play. I don't even get excited. Yeah,
We're back to too much passing.
Yeah, I do not get excited. I don't find this as a way of like a get out of trouble card. Like I've given up on it. So I think it's adorable that you had hope that something was going to come of it.
No, it's not that I had hope. I was just like, if it doesn't happen, if they can't get it to tie the game up here, man, I think we might be in for it. But
there are many times where I see us on the power play, I just don't even like watching because it's aggravating. They get way too cute with it, and there's no hope. So I was hoping they could just, get back to the gritty style and work their way out, because I had no hope that the power play was going to bail them out.
But I'm pretty sure Dallas is one of the best penalty kills in the league, I think, right? If I'm not mistaken on that front, but still, like you have all the
you'll
talent
help
to
that out.
That.
Yeah, we'll help that out.
Well, I mean, but you have talent to combat that, and you should be able to do that. So, yes, while there were fluky goals in this game for the Avs, and there were 3 of them, you hit a couple posts. Nashus hit a post. Manson hit a post. So it's so difficult to take one thing out of this game, because let me see what we got here for. So for shots, obviously, 48 shots on goal. You had 76 Corsi. High danger chances for the Avalanche, 19. And you saw them. Like that's where, like, I just wish this game didn't have to come down to the third period, because you were getting opportunities. You were getting those enter the zone and have that trailing player receive a pass, and he's got a lane. You just need to bury a few of those, and we're not even concerned. We don't even have to have this comeback victory. But some of that is on Ottinger. Some of that is on shot placement. But the Avs, this was the game where they had more chances than any other time of any other game in this series. If that happens again in game 7, you have to bury those chances. You have to, because if you don't, like, we're going to have another game like this where it's just down to the wire. Maybe you need a comeback victory again, and Dallas doesn't like to give you those chances. They make life difficult for you. So the fact that the Avalanche were having so many of them was a shock, and maybe that's why they were missing them. Like, why am I this wide open? But they need to bury those chances.
And see, the thing that really carried me through this game was there was energy on the offense and pressure from the defense all game long. You had 48 shots. Dallas had 10 shots in the first period, then 9, then 7. You almost doubled up their shot output every period. You had 19 in the first period, 16 in the second, and then you had 13 in the third. You're almost doubling up their shot totals. If you're limiting their shots and you're taking shots that actually register on net, you feel good about your chances, especially even with Mikko having his little ascension moment. You feel good about the Avalanche chances because you have a deeper roster where you can have a higher potential to score if you limit their shots. And I felt really confident about that. Every time that the puck was going the other way and you're looking at how the shots are tracking, you're feeling really good about the output.
Definitely. So there's a couple stats I want to bring up. We'll do that next. We'll get to our subtext crew and, of course, our sound check. We'll do that all next. First, let's hear from Game Time. Stanley Cup playoffs are here. And if you've never been to a live NHL playoff game, it is unlike anything else. I mean, how could you not tell from that environment in Ball Arena? I was really hoping they would get some Blink 182 going there. I don't know why they didn't. It's a perfect opportunity, but should have done it.
Gabe's back. Bring the song back.
Missed opportunity. It's the intensity, the speed, the energy in the building like we were just talking about. It is next level. And thanks to Game Time, getting in the door is easier and more affordable than ever. Game Time is the fastest way to grab playoff tickets. Even for those must-see matchups, prices actually drop as puck drop gets closer. And with last-minute deals, you can save up to 60% off. Some of the things that are awesome about the Game Time experience, the last-minute deals. Like I said, you can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and are all-in pricing, which shows the total cost upfront, no surprise fees at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, that code is LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Okay, just want to get to some of the stats of the day. I'm not going to dive into like the deep analytics stuff. This is just your box score because there's things that absolutely jump out for you, especially on the Dallas side. When a team scores 7 plus and minus is going to be kind of all out of whack, and it definitely is. But when Jamie Benn's a -3, I'm gonna bring that up. When Wyatt Johnston is a -5,
Yikes.
-5. Evgeny Dadonov is a -3, and Ilya Lyubushkin is also a -5, and Thomas Harley is a -3. Those are some big names at some mighty big minuses. If you're Dallas, I know, that it's maybe a little bit inflated, and plus minus is not the end all be all. I understand all that, but man, that tells some story there for those guys. That there was a rough go for them.
Yeah, and that's the story throughout the game. The Avs' best were better than the best of the Dallas Stars all game long, and that's what you want to see.
And that was how Dallas won the last game.
Exactly.
Yeah, their best guys were better than the Avs' best guys, and we were talking about it. That needs to flip. And on the Avalanche side, you got that. And Nichushkin with 2 goals, he's a +2. MacKinnon, 3-point night for him, 1 goal. He's credited with that goal, which is just the wildest goal he's going to ever get. But two assists for him.
Much like Cale Makar needed that fluky goal to erase a bad defensive beat he had.
Sure. I mean, he'll take a 200-foot goal. Why not? Nashus with 1 and 1. Landeskog 2 assists. He's a +3. Almost played 20 minutes. So the training wheels are off. Not that they've ever been on for him, but if they were, it was for 1 game. And hey, Cap, welcome back.
Yeah.
So he was +3. Taves, 1 assist for him, +3. Makar, 3-point night, +3. Yeah, and Manson with a goal too, obviously, which you didn't really mention, but that's really the long and short of it, Kyle, is what you just said. Our better guys were better than their better guys, and their better guys were better than ours in the last game. So where's this going to go for game 7? This is crazy. This is just, you don't know. You got pretty much everything from this series. You got overtime games. You had blowouts. You had this, which was just craziness. So I don't know what to expect for game 7. So,
I'm really curious about what everybody says after the game and how they're feeling rolling into this. Yeah, this is marquee matchup right here.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you see the 3rd bullet point we have there. Nathan MacKinnon needs one. There's not much left for him to do, and I'm not saying like not winning a game 7 is not something that's going to like ding him forever. But when you have an offer on your resume of not winning a game 7, that does sting a little bit, and that does sit with you a little bit. And while it's not like, a Stanley Cup game 7, when you've gone as long as he has playing in this league and playing in playoff games and not winning a game 7, he's got to get one. He has to get one under his belt. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays in this, and maybe it could be a game where he takes over. It's tough to go do against Dallas, but when you have someone that's motivated like Nathan MacKinnon is, with the added bonus of win and we move on, and I haven't been able to do that yet in a game 7, we'll see what he gives.
Yeah, especially because the last couple times he played Dallas in game 7 hasn't gone well. I mean,
Right.
we picked up Kiwi Ronta to eliminate that problem. We're not going to pick Duchesne back up. So we gotta eliminate this team and put that story to bed. You've got to move on, and you've got to build a way forward.
So true. So true. All right, let's see what we got from our subtext people. We won't get to all of them because there's a ton. So I'm just gonna randomly pick some here. But we got our boy Vargar. Landy's played incredible so far. Just the idea a man can miss 3 regular seasons with a career-threatening injury and come back in the playoffs and be a point-per-game player against a cup favorite team. It's remarkable. A lesser man would have given up long ago. I think any man would have given up long ago.
Yeah.
Next game is a Nate / DeBoer game 7 showdown. That's true with the Peter DeBoer one too. Yep. Series was always going 7, even without Heiskanen and Robertson out. We'll see what happens there too, because you always heard that
it's not sounded great.
For both those guys?
Yeah.
But it's game 7, so you're wondering, like, do they force it? Might not be the smartest thing to do.
Like, will you help or hurt?
Right. Exactly. I don't know, because you're stuck. You're stuck. Like, once you make that decision, they're out there and they're not, like, maybe we jump the gun on this. You're screwed. So I don't know. Craig says, what a game. The Avs made their own puck luck with that one. Glad Makar got a goal, even if it was an empty netter. Good to see Nichushkin finally getting a goal too. Only appropriate soundtrack I can think of for this one is the Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
Such a good song.
The only thing I think of with that song now is like when you do CPR.
Oh, yeah.
That's the cadence to doing like chest compressions, which is just weird that these songs Staying Alive is what you're doing for CPR. But that's all I think of now when I hear that. I heard that that's what you're supposed to do about like 10 years ago, and it's ruined that song for me.
I think there was even an episode of The Office where they did that. But
was it really? I can't remember if they did that in The Office.
And I wonder if the Bee Gees even had that thought cross their mind.
Probably not. We're gonna make a song for CPR workers all over the place. Christina says the season is still alive. Boys are still in it. Some stuff to clean up, but they got another shot. That was way too close for comfort, though. All my fingers and toes are crossed for game 7. Dallas scoring the game-winning goal was sensational. What does she mean by that? Dallas scoring the game-winning goal. Maybe she had a misprint there.
No, there was a CBS Sports tweet that.
I saw that.
Yeah, game summary that was interesting.
What was that all about? Did they think the second period was the third period? I got to look into. Yeah, I got to figure out what that was all about. Still waiting for Cale to have his moment. Hope he unleashes his wrath in Dallas. He had a great game.
Yeah.
Today, Christina. I mean, 3-point night. He played well. Played real well. Wait a minute. Let's see if she. So let's see. She corrected something in there, but I can't go through it right now. Sorry. Let's see. We got electrician Ziggy here. Says this game was emotional roller coaster, but nowhere near what game 7 will be. I'm glad it'll be on a weekend. Side note, Cap showing up to get 2 apples on the night. Love to see it. Yeah, he just continues to do captain things like he hasn't missed a beat. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, his output has been it. He's going to be racking up some awards depending on how deep this team goes in the playoffs.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, I don't want to say this. I don't want to jinx anything. Like, imagine if the Avs win this entire thing.
I know.
He's MVP. I don't care if he doesn't score another point. He's MVP of the playoffs. He's Conn Smythe all the way.
Yep.
And Marie says, so I just sent, the link said, send in your thoughts. And all she said was, I can't, too busy having a heart attack.
Oh, no. No.
That's playoff hockey for you.
Stay away from Game 7.
I know that's where that's really where it just comes down for me. I'll be having the heart attack in Game 7. Game 6, I was a little bit relaxed. I really was. And hey, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be for this team. But now that you forced a Game 7 against a really good team, and like Vargar said, against a cup favorite team, even though they're decimated, they're still an excellent team. And you forced a Game 7 on them. So we'll see where this goes.
I'm ready for it.
All right. We'll find out what the time is probably on Friday. We'll see when that comes out. But
11:30 at night.
Yeah. Oh my God. Please. I think the only series not wrapped up are this one and Blues and Jets. Yeah. I think everything else is, and all the games that were played on Thursday night could have gone 7, but they all finished off except for this one. So I think that's the only 2 left for first rounders of this one and the Blues and Jets. So
be kind to us, NHL.
I know. All right. So let's do our sound check. We'll wrap this thing up. This is where we pick one song each that summarizes the most recent game and put these songs up on a playlist over on Spotify, which you can follow along. Just search LOA Sound Check Volume number 4 is what these songs are on. What do you got, sir?
I had to. It encapsulates the effort from Game 6 going into Game 7, where this Avalanche team is right now. Everything is on the line. Win or go home. Canadian punk rock legends, DOA. Time to fight back.
Ooh. Yes.
It's a great song.
Great
song, great band.
And perfect song title, which this is like kind of where mine is at too. Like, everything that we've just said in this episode, and even the episodes before, games leading up to this, Avs are down in the series. They're down in this game. And what do? They just don't give up. They keep fighting, and they're still alive and kicking from non-point. That's where I'm going.
Bro, I love non-point.
From the To the Pain album. Love that album cover, by the way.
Yes.
He's just holding a glass that's shattered full of nails. Brilliant. But the song Alive and Kickin', and that's what we are. Not dead yet, sir. Not dead yet. So listen to some non-point, listen to some DOA, and get ready for a Game 7. What's better than a Game 7 in the playoffs?
That is the perfect 2 bands to get you ready for.
Come on now. So yes, we will be recording after that game. So make sure you are tuned into that one. It's going to be a wild one. So will the Avs season continue, or does it end in Dallas? We'll be back on late Saturday, early Sunday to talk about that. But thank you for tuning in for this one and making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys Saturday, late Saturday, whatever time this game starts, after the game is over. But we'll see you over the weekend. And either way, you made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby is that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.
No.